Hello and welcome to The Right Side. I am Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair and JP. And if you thought yesterday's show was a banger, just waiting for today's show because we have Steve Marshall. Allison's gone. I don't know where she went.
You know where I went.
Oh, she's lifting up.
My gosh.
I can't see it.
Well, I know, but I mean, JP, I thought we did a good job. You got it stable.
I couldn't see my head.
Well, it's okay. We can look like Ichabod to ourselves. It's fine.
Cut Steve's head off.
Anyway.
Now I can see my head.
No, I can't see my head.
Okay, hold on.
We'll do it live.
What is happening right now? Anyway, JP, I thought it was fine. We're like the headless horseman. It's okay. But we have Steve Marshall on with us in a few minutes, and we're going to talk about what in the world is going on in Alabama. But before I forget, number one, happy Cinco de Mayo. Okay. It's actually Taco Tuesday, and that shall be celebrated accordingly. Okay. So oh no. We're going to just have to be headless horsemen. It's fine. Okay. So happy Cinco de Mayo. That's number one. Number two, Steve Marshall. Number three, we have Nate Carlson on in the 11 o'clock hour. He is running for a House race or Senate in Jefferson County for Jebba Wagner's seat. I'm going to talk to him. He's a business owner. He played football at Alabama. Very interesting story. So can't wait to talk to him. We're also doing baseball hand signals to JP. So it's a good thing we know a thing or two about sports. And hold. And that's all. Okay. We may or may not get to take a tour around Twix. We will get to the montage. And I'd like to let you know that JP has packed all the stories in there for us today. Packed them, just tightly packed. But then we also want your text, your thoughts. Let us know.
There we go.
Like, what are you thinking today? JP.
That's not perfect.
JP is perfect. He's working overtime today.
Okay.
All right.
I'm sorry, y'all. I got really OCD all of a sudden.
That's great.
Okay.
It's great. We know that we have hair on our head. We can't see. Your hair looks great.
I just don't want it to cut Steve's head off.
I got here so early today and did the teleprompter for like 30 minutes. And then right when the show starts,
I start messing with it.
She hops off the walking pad, pets her dog, who is adorable, and then starts messing around, futzing with our teleprompter.
And her dog is laying spread eagle right under the camera.
Bo. He wanted to go to work today.
Really? Is he right here?
Here,
hi,
here's his name.
Hi. So I couldn't bring my dogs, but Allison can bring hers, and that's so delightful. So
your dogs are giant.
They are giant, and Moose would love it. He would be perfectly obedient, but the problem is he is so loud when he breathes. He's got more bulldog in him than my other mastiffs do. So y'all couldn't even hear yourselves to think over his breathing. It's embarrassing, but I love them.
They're really sweet, actually. They're terrifying, but your dogs are super sweet. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I had to get my steps in on the walking pad, and then I sat down and I'm like, we can't cut Steve's head off. That's okay. I'll just do this so I can see the whole time.
Hey, Sinclair, where are our questions for today?
Here.
Did you text those to me?
Yeah.
Okay, where? Wait, they're on text.
We're very professional today, y'all.
Listen.
And I think Steve Marshall is actually on the line, probably listening and dreading this.
There you go. I'm sorry. Yeah. I saw this morning and I apologize. He's not dreading it. It's us.
Could be the point.
I don't know. I mean, that's why people tune in. You don't know what's going to happen. You know that we're going to get to the news. We're going to have some laughs, ask tough questions, and interview great guests. Fair?
It's fair. But I just need a little asterisk. If you can make an asterisk on the screen. I have so many questions for Steve Marshall. I hope he's listening. Like, just prepare yourself. This is where I am literally going to be like a 5-year-old and be like, well, why? But why? This whole redistricting thing is so confusing. So confusing. And I need him to be like, okay, Allison, this is why we have to do it this way. So I'm hoping that's what we'll get. Does he look ready, or does he look like he's about
ready.
to hang?
Oh,
He's
sweet.
been ready.
Okay.
I think he was born ready.
Hello, sir.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good. I do not have my dog at work today, which may be helpful. You know, Allison, it's a little Pomeranian, so you know who picked the dog out in my house, right? Is that I need the Pomeranian here to give you calm as we discuss everything that's going on.
Please, you may need to put your dog in your lap and pet Bo while we're talking.
Look, he just took off. He's like, I'm not going to her lap. I don't know. I am just really struggling here. And what's your dog's name?
It's Tilly is our dog.
Aww.
So Tilly, she could be my emotional support dog because I am exhausted from this whole thing.
You think you're exhausted? Let me just tell you.
Running for Senate and doing all the other things.
No big deal. And so we're going to start just like that because we want to understand how we got here. And like we're 5, you know, like this is our first civics class we've ever had. Would you just break it to us gently, please?
Yeah, and I'm going to go in the Wayback Machine a little bit. You know, we have the Voting Rights Act that's passed in the 60s, you know, obviously applied to southern states to deal with those impediments that existed at the time that were causing minorities not to be able to vote in the same way that other people could, right? Nothing here that any of us believe is appropriate, and the changes that took place were critical. But what you did not see when the Voting Rights Act was passed was the effort of the left to use Section 2 particularly as a sword on redistricting. That was a creature judicially created in the 90s that has become that thing that we've had to deal with now for quite some time, is that every time we pass a map, that we then face those challenges. All right, first question.
All right,
First question.
Okay, hold on. I'm writing mine down. You go.
Okay, you're saying Section 2 wasn't added until the 90s?
No. Section 2 was, but they was never used for reapportionment challenge until the 90s. So that was a new creature and a new avenue where those that were pushing back against southern states were using Section 2 in a way that was never part of the first 30 years of its history.
And that was because they wanted, that's as the Republicans were starting to take over in the South?
Yeah, I think so. But it was also a way, and you know, this is, you hear this a lot, you know, well, there's X percentage of Black population in Alabama. That means they need to have a certain percentage of representation in Congress. Well, it's offensive in a couple ways. Number one is that this assumption that only a Black person can represent a Black voter, right? Or vice versa. We've shown in the Republican Party that's not the case. But then also, the Voting Rights Act specifically says proportionality is not part of what we're trying to accomplish. And so when you hear that argument, it's not in the law itself. It's more of this idea. Y'all, I was in a forum last night where Republican candidates were talking about this idea of fairness with regard to proportionality, but that's not what the law is at all. And if you want to talk about fairness, well, let's compare Alabama to Maine or to Rhode Island, because you have significant numbers of Republicans in those states. And how many congressional representatives do you have? 0.
Yep.
So am I hearing, though, as we're having the conversation, which that is so helpful just for you to give us that background. But quickly, what I'm hearing from you is something else I'm noticing. It seems like as Republicans have made gains since the 90s and even now, it only seems to be Republican states that are told you have to use this map and not the map that you drew, and never the Democratic states. Or is that wrong?
I think you got to say it's southern states.
Okay.
You know, the Georgias, the Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Floridas that are subject to the provisions of the Voting Rights Act. And in fact, if you look back to Alabama's first case up there in this cycle, the Milligan case, one of the things that Justice Kavanaugh wrote in his concurrence was, isn't there a point in time where this has to end? Because one of the things that we offered at trial and have shown, and I think it's just true throughout the South, we have record numbers of minority voter participation in our elections. which shows that those impediments that we were concerned about when the Voting Rights Act was passed are no longer in play. We've done a great job of being able to register voters, to be able to allow them access to the polls, and for polling to be able to take place in ways that have allowed those numbers to be able to grow. The issue is whether or not Democrats can win. And it's not our responsibility to create a minority party district so that somehow or another their voices can be heard. They've got just as much right to battle out on policy issues as Republican voters do. And candidly, I think right now that the district that's represented by Democratic Congress members would probably be better off right now with some conservative voices being able to help their communities.
So, I mean, and this is what we talked about yesterday. Like, could I be disenfranchised enough as a woman to say we need to have a female represented district only, an LGBTQ represented district? You know, like, I don't know where this ends, and I don't know why we keep going down this road. The good news is, you said the Milligan case, which there are some funky kind of things that came out of that, which is why Alabama is a little bit under a different set of circumstances in terms of having to go back and appeal to the Supreme Court. I know you filed in the 11th court yesterday as well. Can you kind of go back and explain just a little bit why we're having to go through these extra steps?
Yeah. So let's take the Louisiana case as the first example. So their case was directly before the court. So that when Justice Alito ruled last week in Calais, it was specific to the Louisiana map. Now, we benefit from the arguments that are in that case that outline how courts now moving forward have to examine Section 2 claims. And y'all, I won't get into the nuances of the jingle factors, which is really what they specifically address. I see that look on your face, Allison.
The jingle factors.
Jingle factors. It's an old case. There's 4 factors they have to use in the test. We won't go into that.
But that's a real thing. I thought you were being funny.
No.
I'm writing down jingle factors to Google.
It's a real thing. But you can do that and find out what it is. But what the release specifically obtained was for Louisiana. They declared it an unconstitutional map so that my good friend Jeff Landry and my friend Liz Morrell, who's the AG there, had the ability to move directly without additional need for court authorization. And in fact, we saw an order from Justice Alito certifying that case with a majority that allowed them to be able to proceed. Now, we have similar arguments to what was made in Louisiana, but right now, our case is still before the Supreme Court on a request for them to review it, but we have an injunction in place. The Louisiana case had the ability to set aside the injunction through the direct case that was decided last week. We have to have that additional step of releasing the injunction to allow our legislature to be able to act. And let me give you an analogy that maybe make a little bit more sense. We remember the huge victory on overturning Roe versus Wade. Colossal change in the law that gave us the ability to protect the unborn. But if you remember, that's a Mississippi case that traveled up. Dobbs was decided and validated an action of the legislature that allowed them to be able to protect unborn children. What we had to do, we had a statute in place in Alabama that said abortion's illegal. In fact, it's a criminal act. But we had that law enjoined. And so when Dobbs came about and overturned Roe versus Wade, it didn't immediately make our law the law of the land. It didn't set aside that injunction. We had to go to the district court that had set that injunction and ask them to be able to set it aside. And in that, we were successful. And in that, we got the relief that we wanted. Same thing here. We are having to get relief from the judges either at the district court level. And by the way, you'll see this is spoiler alert. You'll see another filing coming today, and I expect that to be soon. That is after we've already filed the request with the Supreme Court, trying to again prompt them after what took place with the order yesterday, saying, court, we need your help to allow Alabama not to engage in an election that we believe includes an unconstitutional map. And so we'll have an additional filing to try to help us be able to get the court to weigh in.
Okay.
Yes.
Hold on. Abs has a question, but I got one first.
Okay, go.
Okay. So when do you expect these? I mean, the Louisiana, I think somebody told me in the pipeline that maybe ours would come out of the Supreme Court next. Are you thinking the Supreme Court will make a motion to remove the injunction, I don't know, whatever that is, to lift the things? Or are you thinking the 11th Circuit Court will come in and do it first? And whichever one you choose, when do you think that will happen? Will it be while the legislature is still in a special session, or are we looking weeks out?
Okay, Allison, you're conflating two cases. So let me make sure
Okay.
we're clear. You have really right now that are two cases. And remember, by the way, that Calais is going to help us beyond congressional representation. Y'all have got Jefferson County Commission challenge on Section 2 claims. We have Madison County Commission challenge on Section 2 claims. So there's more than just simply the one thing that most people are focused on, and that's all House members. But the 11th Circuit case that we filed on yesterday involves the challenge that was to 3 Senate districts in Alabama, or actually 2, one in Huntsville, and we prevailed on that. But the district judge, in considering that Section 2 challenge.
Oh, dear. He must be getting a call.
He must be getting a call.
He is pretty fancy and important.
Okay.
So,
well, so this is so good though. I know he'll pop back up. I really thought he was going 2 separate avenues to see,
be able to ask them for relief on that state map.
Oh,
that's different than what we're trying to get from the Supreme Court relating to our congressional map.
Okay. That is very helpful. I thought you were just trying 2 separate avenues of relief. Anywho, okay.
Okay. So my question then is about.
I don't think he can. I'm not sure if he can hear us.
Okay.
Right now.
Can you hear us? Okay.
No.
Yeah, he's gonna have to rejoin.
Okay. All right. We're gonna ask him a question about: is it gonna be 7-0? Is that possible? Is it 6-1? What does he think?
Because
text to just that they need to leave the studio and rejoin.
That'd be great.
Because there's so much confusion. Nathaniel Ledbetter, Speaker of the House, came out last night and said, look, we're just going to have to go with a 6-1 map. But even yesterday, General Marshall was on CNN, Newsmax, talking about a possible 7-0 map. Ledbetter, just like on Friday, put out a statement about a possible 7-0 map. And now all of a sudden we're back to 6-1. So I don't know if there's some legal stuff.
He's back.
Oh, he's back.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So
sorry, y'all. I don't
it's all right.
It's just
you're important.
Yeah. People are trying to call you.
Thank you for your time today. So is a 7-0 map possible?
I think it's a question of timing more than anything else. Is there sufficient time based upon when we get the relief from the court and when the primary date could be set for the legislature to be able to engage? So I think that's the qualifier. My job right now is not to define what that map looks like as much as to give the legislature the greatest flexibility to be able to take on what could be the opportunity to create a 7-0 congressional map.
Well, okay. So why? Yeah, everybody, I know yesterday you were on several programs talking about 7-0 map. Speaker Ledbetter put out a statement, I think on Friday after the governor called special session, talking about 7-0 map. And then last night he said, we're going to have to go with a 6-1 map. Now, I don't exactly know, because it does seem like a lot of things have to fall in line perfectly to be able to do something before this primary. But if they wanted to, and under your understanding, could the legislature push for a 7-0 map? And then if they do get a 7-0 map, does it have to go back through the court system?
Well, they say anything we do is going to be challenged. So regardless of the action that they take, we're going to still be dealing with court. That's why, when I told you earlier, there's not been a lot of time for sleep. That's because we got an awful lot of people right now trying to dive into all the contingencies. But Allison, the impediment for the legislature is the fact that we still have that injunction in place.
Okay.
So they can't act on a new map as long as that court has enjoined them from doing anything differently than what they've said themselves. And so that's why, and I haven't spoken to Speaker Ledbetter, I don't know exactly what he said. The real issue right now is timing. And so that's why we're being as aggressive as we can, pursuing every avenue to be able to go forth before, I told you, the 11th Circuit relating to the state Senate maps, as well as now the Supreme Court, and potentially going back to the 3-judge panel in the congressional maps, and trying to get that relief as quick as possible. If in fact it's sooner than later, it could create more flexibility. If we get to sort of close to those deadlines, then the legislature is not going to have that option.
Okay.
I can't speak to, again, what he said,
Yeah.
but my mission right now is to get us the ability to get the relief we need to be able to make those decisions.
So it seems like there are coordinated efforts going on, especially in the southern states, for example. Is that true? Like, just to the outsider watching, are these efforts being coordinated, or are these just organically happening and we were all waiting for this to occur?
I think it's more organic. I mean, clearly, we've heard from President Trump about wanting to make sure that we are able to keep the House. I mean, everybody is fully understanding that's an important thing. And look, you've seen what Virginia just did. You've seen obviously California, New York, and where those numbers may be. Florida doesn't have a legal impediment like we have. We know that they're drawing maps. Mississippi is looking to see whether or not they can go forward in theirs. Louisiana now has been released from what was previously their own impediment. For us, I think when I'm out, and clearly you've been out on the campaign trail, I hear an awful lot from folks who wants Alabama to be able to join in that fight. And that's why we're working so hard now that the timing of Calais, look, would love to have had this decision 2 months ago.
Yeah.
It's what it is. But we're up against a deadline that it was set obviously many months ago, and by statute, which is our May 19th primary. And so that's why all of our timetable is so truncated, and we're trying to do everything we can to get the courts to be able to weigh in.
Okay, makes sense.
If something does happen this week or in the next few weeks before the primary, theoretically, your race will not be affected by that. How ready are you for May 19th to be here?
It's my focus right now, I mean, candidly, is trying to get Alabama this relief. You pay me to be Alabama's Attorney General, and this has been my focus. Obviously, was at a forum last night, late night down in Mobile, being able to do that, but back here early this morning, trying to work with the team to get us where we are. May 19th will be, a nice day. And partly, y'all can appreciate this. I mean, it is an opportunity for me to understand, is there more of a political fight, or are we moving to a different place in life as part of my career? Interestingly, and I think we had this conversation, made the decision a long time ago. I wasn't running for governor, never anticipated that I was even going to be in a political race this year. And so was very much comfortable and happy about moving forward with whatever God's plan was for me next. Then coach decided to come home, opened up the opportunity to run, and have been excited now to be out there for the last 11 months, being able to share that vision. But yeah, there's something nice about finally knowing that the voters get to weigh in. We're not worried about, who did this poll or who said this about what those numbers are. The only poll that matters is what takes place May 19th, and excited about that being here.
It's very true. I'm curious, real quickly, we've got like maybe 1 or 2 more minutes. As you've been on the campaign trail, have the focus of Alabama voters, has it changed over the months with the war and just different issues, immigration, just things going on? Or are you hearing kind of the same issues from Alabamians that are really important to them?
I hear very similar issues, the ones that you just described. Obviously, the war in Iran is more recent, but I still think the prevailing thing that I hear from folks is, what are we going to do to make life more affordable for me and my family? I think that has been the prevailing discussion about what's going on. And look, right now we're asking Americans to make a great sacrifice as far as what's going on in Iran, because, I mean, I was passing by the convenience store this morning, gas was almost at $4 a gallon. We know the reason why. It's not because of Trump era economic policies. It's simply because of what's going on in Iran. And so I think, Allison, that's probably been the one thing that I would say the most is, while all of those issues have been something that's been discussed, and I think criminal justice issues are too, I throw that in there. I think right now, just the pocketbook issues for American families are what's most important.
Well, thank you for joining us. If people want to find out about your campaign and also keep up with what you're doing, which we really appreciate. I don't know how you do both. Keep up with what you're doing on the case VRA side. Where do they find you?
Yeah, I'd say on the case side, we've been good about releasing press releases or out on social media from the AG's office. So alabamaag.gov is our website, and you can go to news releases there. We're also out there on Twitter and Facebook as well, and we're trying to make sure we publish updates there. And if folks have an interest on the Senate side, stevemarshallforsenate.com, and then we're out on Instagram and Facebook as well.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Hey, enjoy the dog at work today.
I was going to say, tell Tilly we said hello, and maybe you need to just take her on the campaign trail with you. If things are
My
going the
only
way they
I
are
think
for
so.
us, you definitely need Tilly.
Yeah, my emotional support dog. I'm lucky I have a wife that, y'all, thanks for the time.
Thanks so
Thank
much.
you.
Okay. I'm gonna have to go.
Jingle factor. We're going to look that up.
I thought he was kidding.
I know you did. And he wasn't.
Wait, real quickly, because I don't hear the music. Can you Google jingle factor? Is it like jingle bells?
I think it was, did he say it was a case? And it had to meet four factors?
See, I'm scared
Oops.
to Google jingle factor.
I will Google jingle factor. But it had, a case had to meet 4 requirements. That's all I got. And I've never heard of that before. But you just had to look at his face, and he was like, no, jingle factor. And we're like, okay.
Oh, okay. It's referring to Thornburg versus Jingles voting rights case in 1986. It was a landmark Supreme Court case regarding the Voting Rights Act of 1965. It established legal standards for proving that redistricting plans illegally dilute minority voting power.
Okay, interesting.
It's funny Steve Marshall knew me well enough to know that would make me giggle.
But
Like,
when you
I see your face.
When you first look up Jingle Factor, it's something with a 12-month guide for maintaining Christmas spirit year round. I don't think that's what he was referring to.
Could be.
Nope.
Y'all, we're gonna take a break. We'll be right back.
Come back to the right side. And let's be honest, this is the moment you've tuned in for, isn't it? I'm Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair. JP's keeping us together today behind the scenes, but we're thrilled and honored to be joined by Speaker of the House, Nathaniel Ledbetter, and Chairman of the Alabama Republican Party and Representative Scott Stothagen from Hartselle, Rainsville, right?
Yeah, that's
You're
right.
Rainsville.
I'm Rainsville.
You're Hartselle.
It's good to
Okay.
be here.
I wish we had more time to tell you that my dad used to moonlight at the hospital there, and I got to spend the night in the little call room. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. It's safe to say a lot has happened over the last couple of weeks, and this might not be what people expected, is the two of y'all sitting down right here with us. Talk us through how we got here.
Well, certainly good to be here with you guys. Thank you for having us, and certainly good here to be with the new chairman of the party. And Scott and I have had a lot of discussion over the last week since he's got elected, and he certainly has my full support. I think he's going to do a really good job, and look forward to his leadership. And I think he can bring the party together in a way that maybe somebody else couldn't. So I congratulate him on that position.
Yeah, it's an honor to be here. Thank you guys for having us on. I think it's an exciting moment from here for Alabama with the House of Representatives, our caucus, and the party coming together, and looking forward to the work that we're going to have going in the future. And it's exciting for tomorrow.
Talk to us real quickly about the party for now. Does it feel united behind you? Are you feeling good about where you're going and how everybody is lined up behind you?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have already hit the ground running. Matter of fact, yesterday we had a meeting with all the county chairmen, kind of seeing what their needs are and what's working, what's not working. So we're literally starting from the bottom, working our way up. But the biggest thing is a team, like we have with our caucus, working as a team, and then we're going to unite that gap between the party and the legislature for us to work together, because we're all Republicans, right? So I think it's going to be a very interesting, unique situation. I'm looking forward to it.
Talk to us, if you would please, sir, about the caucus and where everybody is right now and what you guys would like to do over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think the caucus is in a good position. I mean, we had a very good meeting last week, and we just need to go forward. That's what we told the caucus. And now's the time to move forward, and they're doing that. We'll have some strong legislation coming up today. The closed primary passed out of the committee, so we'll have it on the floor Thursday. That's a speaker's pick. I'm going to pick it for Thursday. So we'll get to see it on the floor. So I think we got a lot of good legislation out there, some of it in the Senate that we've passed through the House, some of it vice versa. So certainly got to get the budgets out. Passed the ETF off the floor last week. Look to get the general fund the week after spring break. So we'll kind of finish up some things we got going, but it's going well. I think the people out there will be proud of the work together with the House and the Senate and with the governor's office. So we hope to continue that and look forward to finishing up strong.
I'm curious, this question's for both of y'all, so you'll have to pass the mic back and forth, but whoever wants to answer it first, how do you view what is the proper role and partnership between the caucus and the party? There's been lots of debate about that, how much influence each should have going forward. How do you feel about the relationship?
Well, I will say, Scott and I have talked about that already, and he's got an idea that I support of getting me and the pro tem and the governor-elect together and sitting down and looking at some bills that we can all agree on. I don't think we've ever done that before, Scott, and I think it's a smart idea and gets us all on the same page. And I think that's being really proactive and trying to choose legislation that not only the party would like, but the people of Alabama.
Yeah, really excited about next quadrennium and next session, just to see us come together and work together as a team, because we're all Republicans. We have the same beliefs, right? So having that with legislation and party coming together, and hopefully, the bill package that we present to the governor, pro tem, and the speaker, we get that through, and we're really going to have like a Republican day at the Capitol, and we're going to have all the state executive members there, and that night hopefully celebrate. And it's going to be a celebration for Republicans throughout the whole entire state, and I'm looking forward to it. So, and as far as our caucus members go, they're Republicans, conservative. We're literally one of the most conservative bodies in the United States. So we're hand in hand moving forward.
Speaker Ledbetter, this question is for you. We kind of talked to some people because over the past few weeks, there's been a lot of discussion about leadership. There's been some transitions about some of the, asking people what the main complaints against leadership or you in the speaker's office specifically. One of the issues that came up repeatedly was just the push for gambling, which I think is just kind of across the board. One person said, though, that too often the priority seems to go to bills backed by special interests or those closest to leadership rather than allowing a fair, open process where conservative priorities rise naturally. What do you think?
You're both. Hi, how are you? I am Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair and JP. We are the Right Side. Hope you enjoyed our interview with Attorney General Steve Marshall. Thank God he is at the helm because he knows what he's talking about. And I actually fully understood exactly what he was talking about because this can be very confusing. And when somebody goes in statute number 2 out of blah, 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 and I'm like, what? Just tell me, why are we here? And that was good to know. And part of the reason why I brought this book, The Color of Law, and it talks about how our government segregated, not people, our government segregated our society back in the day. And it's an interesting read. And I learned about it from Virgil Walker and Daryl Harrison. And so it lays out the neighborhood idea. It just some things that really should have never taken place and how it happened, why it happened, but it was the government who did it. And when the government gets involved, the government screws things up. But it's not 1965. And we want to make sure that our congressional district maps and other maps are neutral and fair. And that's what they're trying to do right now. But the whole story made me think of this book that I started and enjoy. So if you're interested in the history of it, just know that it was our government who did this to her people. And now we have an opportunity to make things neutral and fair, and we should. So we're going to keep you posted. It could be a mess. It could not be. But why they always got to mess with the SEC states and not the other states?
It's because we're better than everybody.
They hate us because they ain't us.
I do have to ask. Okay, I think General Marshall's phone went out when he was saying when he expected. Did anybody pick up on?
No.
Okay, shoot.
I did not hear, because I'm amazed that when they have an emergency docket, they'll zip through and try to get to the case. Otherwise, who knows how long it could be. So I did not hear because his phone went, and then it was out.
Probably like President Trump calling or something. So we'll excuse it. But I do think it could be interesting to watch. I'm sitting here going, Okay, everything out of Montgomery is saying we're going back to the 6-1 map from 2023. Well, isn't that one still unconstitutional?
That one also, perhaps.
Yeah, because it was.
Yes.
Yeah. So like, okay, great. We're going to go back to an unconstitutional map and everybody's going to be happy about it. Like either we care about the Constitution or we don't. Now I get the process of like, I think the legislature could pass a 7-0 map this week.
Mm-hmm.
I think they could get it done if they wanted to. I did a bunch of research on special sessions and legislative days and how many votes it takes. And I don't know if y'all want me to go through that. But I think that the legislature could pass a map and then it has to go through before the 3-person panel. And I don't know if it could be done before the special session, but does that really matter if we're talking about against the Constitution or not? Shouldn't you just do it because it's the right thing to do anyway?
Mm-hmm. You should, technically, but we're a nation of political power, not law. So we do what we want when we can, and then we change it all back. So we should, and that should be the deciding factor. That is the standard. It takes all the air out of all the fights when we say, just do what the Constitution says. It makes it so simple.
Right.
But we rarely do it that way.
Like, I know it's a little more effort, but if we value the Constitution, we should be putting in the effort to make a constitutionally correct map.
You would think.
Are we going to do allegedly today?
It's on the schedule.
Okay.
I want to do it.
Because I was going to save some stuff for allegedly because I'm hearing lots of things.
I have an Alabama allegedly too.
Okay. So we'll save
Somebody
some
good
for allegedly.
All right, let's do this before we get to and let's only do this for 5 minutes before we get to the montage. But could we take a tour around Twix just to see what else is going on in the country and catch ourselves up? JP?
All right, we're going to do, if you don't mind, we're going to do this one because it's kind of funny. It's not worth talking about more than going around the Twix, but we're having a full-fledged cat fight with Laura Loomer and Candace Owens.
It is funny that Candace is responding to Laura the way other people have responded to Candace.
I'm confused. You're
just
gonna have
asking
to give me
questions.
More.
So Laura Loomer is putting information out there that goes in the face of the stories. I'll say stories. I'm being nice. Southern. I'm using a Southern word. Stories that Candace Owens is putting out there. Laura Loomer's like, that's actually not true about her husband, about DUI, about trucks and cars and properties they own. Laura Loomer, of course, loves evidence. And so she's putting it out there. Candace Owens is freaking out. And it's just full on delightful. It's crazy.
I see this stuff and I see like, it just seems like 2 middle school girls just fighting to fight.
But you're not really telling me what's happening.
Wait, I put, if you could read, I thought you could.
Well, I know, but our viewers, they probably don't have their glasses.
Loomer shared documents alleging Owens' British-born husband, George Farmer, faced DUI charges in Nashville in August 2023, including a high blood alcohol level, firearm possession while intoxicated and fleeing the scene, linking it to a truck crash and questioning his U.S. citizenship granted in March 2025. Owens denied owning the vehicles, accused Loomer of doxing her family's cars via her fiance's alleged auto dealer access, and highlighted mismatches like Farmer's actual birthday and appearance not aligning with the arrest record. Allies like Rep. Marjorie Taylor Greene warned of dangers to Owens' family, while both sides traded legal threats and unverified claims and broader conservative tensions.
This is just stupid. I don't have time for this. We're trying to save America in Montgomery and get a 7-0 map. Look, don't drink and drive, people. It's just not smart. I don't care if you're George Farmer or Larry Loomer.
Stop. Just everybody stop.
Allegedly.
What else? Anything else this morning I saw? Can you scroll down for a second? I saw some things this morning that
Okay, this is in the montage, so we're going to say.
Okay.
This.
All right. Got it. Cool.
Oh, okay. I realized I forgot to put this in the montage, but do you mind? Did y'all see what Alito wrote in his decision towards Ketanji Brown Jackson?
I listened to it this morning. Love that man.
All right, let's play this video real quick.
For what she's doing.
45 seconds.
Okay.
For what she's doing, saying the dissent in the suit levels charges that cannot go unanswered. The dissent would require that the 2026 congressional elections in Louisiana be held under a map that has been held to be unconstitutional because it draws racist lines. The dissent does not claim that, and it is now too late for the legislature or the district court to adopt a new map that complies with the Constitution, nor does the dissent assert that it is not feasible for the election to be held under such a map. Instead, the dissent offers two reasons for its proposed course of action. One is trivial at best. The other is baseless and insulting. Pretty spicy language between two justices.
So he pretty much was saying that Ketanji Brown Jackson was just lobbying baseless and insulting claims. I think later on in the opinion, he wrote that they were exchanging here. It's actually right here, I believe. Said that the dissent goes on to claim that our decision represents an unprincipled use of power. That is groundless and utterly irresponsible charge. What principle has the court violated? The principle that Rule 45.3's 32-day default period should never be shortened, even when there is good reason to do so. The principle that we should never take any action that might unjustifiably be criticized as partisan? ? So. I don't know if I've ever seen like opinions from SCOTUS justices going after other justices like that.
He has clearly had it with her. She is lobbying hard as a leftist, and the court should be neutral, and she is not. I am thankful that he said what he said, because basically she's saying, well, just leave the map as it is. Let's we know how it got ruled, but could you please just like just a little while longer. Let's just use it a little while longer. It doesn't make any sense. Can you imagine if Biden had or Kamala had won and they packed the courts, which is still their plan? But can you imagine if they had packed the courts or still plan to pack the courts with more people like her in the future? It makes me think about the future when I see things like that.
Yeah, but you're saying that, but this is exactly what they're doing in Montgomery.
Yeah.
If the Louisiana map is the old Louisiana map is unconstitutional, and Justice Alito is saying that, then the old Alabama map, that was drawn, even though it was just one black district, it's still unconstitutional,
right? Yeah,
and it's like everybody gets a word salad and gets us all confused down in Montgomery purposefully. When bottom line, it's pretty straightforward. Now the time, I don't know if we have time to make it before this primary. I get that. There's a time constraint, but that shouldn't dictate whether you do the right or wrong thing.
No, not at all. And you're exactly right. It is either, like you said a few minutes ago, we go with what the Constitution says and we draw districts that are neutral and fair, and we battle it out where ideas are concerned, principles, battle those out. But we also, at the same time, have to reject this notion, and that's what's guiding some of this for the 6-1 map, is that people will be oppressed. People will not be able to vote. People will be, they will miss out on some of their rights. What rights are you talking about? Like the voter suppression claims made by Terry Sewell yesterday in a press conference, and they continue on and on. I looked at what Craig Monger had posted. He was posting video of the State House steps, and the song that they're singing right now is crazy.
Is it a banger?
It's a banger. It's a Michael Jackson, but they're filling in with their own lyrics. And so,
whoa. Can you pull that up while she's talking?
Yeah. It's on Twitter from about an hour ago. So either we obey the Constitution or not, but at the same time, Republicans, you have to be ready, please, with the arguments and the stats, or even just the question, whose rights are being disenfranchised? Who is not able to still enjoy the liberties that Americans do? No one. What's being infringed upon are politicians' ability to tell their constituents, you are oppressed and suppressed. and all these things are going to be taken away from you. That's what they go to every time. And enough of the nonsense. Enough. It's not true. We have to be ready to push back on those lies because they are. And we have to be ready to be in probably big fights with people because that's going to happen too. People will be unhappy if these changes are made, and they should be made. But instead, like Leland said yesterday, go battle it out. Pay attention to all of your constituents. But the idea that you can draw a district based on somebody's skin color has got to go away. It's wretched. Don't judge us by the color of our skin, except now. No, those are the lies we have to push back with forcefully, or push back on forcefully. Am I wrong?
No.
No. And there's also another element here that I see allegedly. There's the protection of that, but there's also the protection of Terry Sewell. I'm thinking that's coming into play. For whatever reason. Montgomery has, and the federal, our congressional members have always been kind of partial to her. And I don't know if it's because literally she has done nothing for the district, and they'd rather have that than, like somebody that actually gets in there and does something. So maybe they're protecting her, thinking, well, we could have it worse. But for some reason, there is some protection. I know 100% that is playing into Montgomery's decision. Maybe it's pressure from the governor. Maybe. I think the governor and Terry Sewell are very close. But there are a lot of things that are at play here that aren't good. And if you are a person that cares about the Constitution, that cares about right or wrong, even when you might hurt somebody's feelings, then you're going to push for this constitutional map, not try and find every technicality to not. And that's what's happening right now.
By the way, this was the scenes yesterday.
I'll show you this. I'll show you what he posted. There was some chanting going along that you can't hear.
They don't really care about us. We want to stay racist.
I mean, they don't really want to care about us, and they don't. But you know what? You're singing about the wrong they. The people who have been elected to represent you do not care about you, or your schools wouldn't still be failing. They don't care about you, or economic development in your communities would be thriving. In some places it is. In some cases it is. And they don't really care about you. No, they don't. But it's the people you send back to Washington, D.C. Do you remember when somebody ran against Terry and they were having to meet with possible people who would vote for them in basements because they didn't want anybody to know that they were thinking about voting for somebody other than Terry? And they have sewage issues in their communities. They have poverty issues in their communities. They have issues in their communities. So when you're singing that song, they don't really care about us. That is the wrong us. It's the people that repeatedly get sent back as figureheads who, what are they doing? What is their record? Are you better off? And that goes for every other elected official we have as well. Are you better off because they've done their job well? Everybody should be held to that standard. And if they don't meet the standard, they should go home too. They should not be reelected. But this puts us on equal footing. One standard, neutral and fair, go battle it out over ideas, and let's see where the chips may fall. But playing songs like They Don't Really Care About Us is ironic.
Can I just show this too? Craig Monger tweeted this. Is from the same rally. Then the tweet just said, looks about right. And it's an old hippie white guy. And his sign that says it's about us is upside down.
It wasn't even that hot that day. Dude, stand up and turn your sign over.
Yeah, but it's like that's the crowd. Like that kind of sums it up. It's like all the No Kings rallies were the old white Woodstock attendees, and it looks like that they just need stuff to protest about, but they can't even get the sign right. It's upside down. That's fitting.
Do you want to tell everybody who we're having on tomorrow? Because
this is very exciting. Y'all probably have heard him speak. You may have read his first book, but K. Carl Smith is coming on tomorrow with Frederick Douglass Republicans. He is a compelling thinker and speaker and hardworking activist, and has been involved in some levels. I know the last time I saw him was at the airport, and he was going to do something with the Trump administration. I think it was Trump 1. But he's always busy. He's always out there, and he's bringing truth to communities around the country. But he is coming on tomorrow in the 11 o'clock hour. And he does want to talk about his new book. He said, we'll be very interested in it, but also redistricting and helping us think through what are we really dealing with here. So I can't wait. I'm so excited he's coming on.
he'll be really good because he doesn't hold back. He'll fit in nicely.
Maybe he'll want to come back after that too.
Probably should do a podcast, like a long form podcast with him.
I think we just put him on the spot. Hey, K. Carl, can you stay for a while?
Yeah.
But it'll be great. It's a great conversation. I do mean to get fired up, because you get to the point where you think, how long are we going to believe things that are simply untrue and demonstrably untrue? How long?
I guess until they say it's time. I mean, that's literally what it feels like some arbitrary date where they decide they don't, because it ends that way every time. Like eventually they will turn on the Black community. If the Black community turned all Republican, they would, disown them. There would be no need for these districts. Do you know what I'm saying? They're
Absolutely.
just being used. So as soon as they're done being used and using them, we'll get to not be racist anymore. I really don't know how like the left-wing media is able to say that we're the ones that are racist for wanting non-colored, non-people color map. How do you say that? Maps not based on the color of someone's skin.
Maps based
but
on
we're the racist.
Yeah, right. It makes no sense at all. And all we want is for human flourishing and for people to be free and experience fairness and really work on not being divided. We're so divided. This is one way where we cannot be divided, where we'll all have to come together in the town hall and all have to figure out what do we care about as a community together. So we don't need to be divided because there's so much common ground. And both sides lie to us real pretty.
Real pretty.
But it's up to us to say, we're done with those lies. Let's make this happen. But it also involves people in Montgomery being willing to make it happen and being willing to make some people really unhappy. But we got to take emotions out of it and look at what's best for Alabamians. It's that simple. So here we go.
And I get it. It is confusing. And I mean, our legislators, I do think they try most of the time to be up to date and understand what's going on. It is a lot that has been thrown at them very quickly.
Yep.
I get that. But that still doesn't, what is it in the legal system? Ignorance isn't a defense. It still doesn't negate your responsibility to understand fully what you are doing. So when we come back, I don't know if you want to do the montage. I know Nate Carlson's coming on at 11:10. We'll just hit some other news stories from around the Twix, and then Nate will be with us at 11:10. We'll be right back. I was criticizing you and the agenda of leadership because if you look, you have passed some really conservative things over the past quadrennium.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the record of this last quadrennium, I mean, it doesn't, just look at what's been passed. There's no question this is the most conservative quadrennium this state's ever had, period. if you look at my record as Speaker and Majority Leader, it's the most conservative the state's ever had. I mean, all you got to do is look at what we've passed. You know, if it's DEI, or if it's, you know, the Choose Act or whatever, which we led the charge on helping getting that passed. It was a pick. You know, and a lot of things with Scott passed, the boys and girls bathroom thing. I mean, this has been the most conservative 4 years that we've had. And as far as the special interest group, they all stay in my office and they'd know more about what they're talking about, because there was 2 of them in there Friday and I told them no. And one of them was Alpha on an ambulance bill that I think could serve rural Alabama very well. And the same thing with Blue Cross and those people. We tell them no more than we tell them yes. And so I think people that says that need to probably work a little bit harder to figure out what is going on, and they wouldn't have to make statements like that.
So then on the heels of that question, what did it mean to have 75 members of the House, Tuberville, support you?
It's humbling. I mean, it really is. I didn't ask for that. I mean, they did that on their own. And of course, Coach has been a friend of mine for a long time. I chaired his U.S. Senate race. And so, but to have that many members and Scott being one of them that signed that document, it was very humbling. I mean, it really was. And, you know, the thing about it is, I think it's easy sometimes for people to say negative stuff about people they don't know. And the problem with that is it doesn't just affect the person you're talking about, it affects their family, you know, whether it's their grandkids or their wife or their kids. And sometimes I think we have to be mindful of that. So, you know, to see after on the backside of it, to see that and to see our members come together and support me, it's really, really humbling.
It's hard. It is hard being on the outside. You know, we're not privy to a lot of the discussions that are had in the halls, and hopefully this can be kind of a transition point of inflection for Alabama, for the legislature, for the party, for the people. And that's a question I have for both of y'all. Is this a turning point for the state of Alabama? It felt a little bit like crossing the Delaware. We were like, oh, we're in new territory. And then being here today, I mean, this is huge to see y'all sitting down together, kind of tackling this head on. I know the people of Alabama will appreciate that. But moving forward, and you mentioned a little bit plans to open up discussions. What can you expand a little bit more on that? How is this different, and how are we going to put this behind us?
Yeah, so I mean, our caucus has always been together, right? So we are a team. We're kind of like an executive session when we're in caucus. So the things that we discuss and things we talk about are with us and our team. As far as moving forward in the future, I think, you know, with the party members of ALGOP and then our caucus, I mean, once again, we're all Republicans. We're all on the same team. Some of us serve at a different capacity than others. Some are more vocal than others in the party side. And we've got to respect different personalities. Y'all just had Ernie Yarbrough on the show for crying out loud. He's a different personality, right? So he is very passionate about his beliefs. And you just got different, it's like a family, you know, you've got different personalities in your family. And I think moving forward, I'm extremely excited about tomorrow. I really am, because I think it's going to be something that our state has never seen before. The leadership in this body and then also leadership in our party, we are literally going to bridge that gap that literally we have never seen before. And I just cannot wait till it happens.
So staying with you, sir.
Oh, okay.
Just real quick. Sorry.
We're going to be sure and get you a smaller microphone.
That's okay.
The only thing that would have made it better is like a little fuzzy dice, you know, making it look like that.
I think it's supposed to sit on top of it.
It is. And
can y'all not afford those either, man? Come on.
We can. This turned around so quickly, and we're so glad to be here that you gotta, you know, we're making do.
Yes.
Okay. These are awesome. I've always wanted these little lapel mics. I'm just saying. Why did you want to run for ALGOP chairman?
Yeah, so it never was on my radar, to be honest. I don't personally believe in titles. I believe in making an impact, the biggest impact I can. And there were certain things that took place after several phone calls and laying in bed. My wife and I were just talking about, and you know, your spouse is your best friend, and you talk about things with her. And she looked and she said, I think you would be a really good party chairman. Like, that's in your wheelhouse. And I was like, I think I would like that, and prayed about it. And honestly, once I decided to run, and literally everything was falling in place, and that's why I feel like when you're on God's path, things just naturally happen. You're not fighting against the grain on things. But that's really it. It wasn't on my radar whatsoever. And when we decided to do it, everything just literally fell in place. And I knew it was God's plan for me to do this.
I guess we touched a little bit about some of the things that under your leadership have happened in the House: tax cuts, school choice, tough on crimes law, DEI bans, transgender sports ban. Am I missing anything else?
China. You're missing a lot. Yeah.
Um,
Property from,
3 more lists.
yeah, absolutely.
So do you feel like some people in Alabama have lost sight in all the hubbub and all the chatter that's going on? And what are your priorities for the rest of this session?
So it's all good. Hi, everybody. We're drinking tea now. It's moved into that portion of the show.
You have to drink with your pinkies out.
That's right. And it's that's a great accent. Cheers. English breakfast tea. What is your tea of choice?
What was that?
I don't know.
I don't normally drink tea, actually.
I don't either. You were doing it. It was peer pressure.
Yeah, sounds good.
Did you put honey in it?
I did.
Okay. I put sugar in mine because I hate honey, even though that's my grandmother's name.
What do you mean you hate honey?
I was made to eat spoonfuls of it as a child because I was in a musicale, and that was the only way to coat our throat. And
so now you can't do any of it?
Yeah. Now, if you want to put honey in a recipe, okay, but please don't make me put honey in my tea or coffee. Ew.
Okay, fine.
That's all. All right. So, JP, you tell us, do you want to montage it right quick before Nate comes on and then interview Nate? And then after we can just roll through all the things, montage and allegedly? Is that a good plan or is that a terrible plan?
Whatever y'all want, but I don't know if we get to the montage topics
Gosh,
or
you
not.
sound so excited about either option.
I mean,
We can.
he's like on fire.
I say let's roll the montage.
Okay.
And start it.
Okay.
Because we have like 8 minutes.
And JP, you put a lot in there and a lot of stories out today. And we're never going to get through them all, but it's kind of great because some of them can roll into tomorrow because you're such a pro, JP.
Thank you.
All right. So let's montage while we sip a tea.
Black for News.
Happening today, Alabama lawmakers are in Montgomery for a special session after a recent Supreme Court ruling in Louisiana.
Yeah, in that ruling, the High Court limits the use of race in redistricting. Now, many states are wondering how this could impact their own maps.
Judge Zia Farrakwi apologized to suspect Cole Allen for the treatment he's received so far while he's been behind bars. He's been put on suicide watch by the Department of Corrections, and the judge was asking why. But the judge very concerned about his constitutional rights, saying the defendant has requested a Bible, has requested meetings with his legal team, and that has not been allowed. He's been put in restrictive 24-hour lockup with no windows in a padded room without an opportunity to get out for recreation.
A lot of you probably heard about it over the course of the day. The United States government, the National Security Agency, intercepted conversations of President Zelensky's government in Ukraine in 2022, late 2022, conspiring with federal workers at the USAID to come up with a plan to take $200 million of USAID money. That is your money, folks, taxpayer money, route it through a series of transactions, move it into the United States, and launder it into Joe Biden's 2024 campaign and the Democratic National Committee.
What did happen just moments ago is that my subpoena on the sexual harassment slush fund was just delivered. So I have a book, two binders of about 1,000 pages that we're going through right now. There were 9 members of Congress that had been named so far in those 1,000 pages. Anything previous to 2004 was destroyed. So I am very intent on getting out the information for the American public, for South Carolina, on how your tax dollars have been wasted and spent. by predators in Congress.
That was a good one, JP.
Predators. A strong adjective.
Yeah, it is. So we covered the Supreme Court, thanks to Steve Marshall, in understanding the emergency motion, which is great. We will have a framing conversation and enlightening conversation with K. Carl Smith tomorrow to further that conversation. And maybe some more fun and games we'll get from the Capitol, from others who are down there right now. But beyond that, what did you guys think? I want to come back to the Zelensky government in USAID, because that's going to be a conversation I think we all want to have. But what did you guys think about this Judge Zia Faruqi, the Pakistani who apologized to the White House Correspondents' Dinner shooter? I thought that was outrageous. Am I alone?
Faruqi is the name of the judge.
Yeah. What?
I'm trying not to judge.
Yeah.
Like that in and of itself is, I'm sorry. It's weird. And it might be the problem.
I don't know if he wasn't treated in the right way. I mean, that you got to do that's my frustration is kind of on the police officers, because why are you giving them anything to give this guy a way out? Like, if you're not going by the book and doing the right things, then why are you even giving an opportunity to, apologize to him or give him any sort of leeway? That's kind of, it's frustrating that he got an apology, but my first reaction was, why are you guys not doing your job? Honestly.
What things can you remind me again? I know I was listening, but I was writing notes about something else. What did they not do for him that they should have?
I know the main problem that the judge had was that they put him on suicide watch, and the judge didn't think that there was enough there to put him on suicide watch. But the reasoning was that in his manifesto, or maybe he said it, that he didn't expect to come out of the, he expected to be taken out while trying to shoot the president. And that was the reasoning for putting him on suicide watch. And they put him in a room with no windows. Apparently they denied him access to his lawyers. So I think that was the main reasoning why the judge apologized, was he felt like there wasn't enough to put him on suicide watch.
I would say, I see what you're saying. And I thought about that actually as you were playing the clip. Like, just because somebody else doesn't follow the rules doesn't necessarily mean we get to break them too. Mm-hmm. But besides him not being able to speak with his attorney, I don't know. I would say everything else is up for like a judgment call. Mm-hmm. I just am so tired of, there's a way, and I didn't see the clip. Maybe there's a clip of the judge speaking to him. There's a way to relay that information and to say, hey, you need to let him speak with his attorney, but not be so drippy sympathetic, which is what it sounds like he was. Mm-hmm. Like, yes. I am so sorry you're here. Well, no, you just tried to kill a bunch of people. All right. So I think maybe the Pakistani judge's messaging was just off, but I don't have much sympathy. You had a plan. You laid it out. You were going to take out a bunch of people. Mm. So why am I worried if you have to sit in a room with no windows for a minute? Yeah, not worried. I don't really. I'm sorry. You should have thought about that. Like, to me, I'm with you. Follow the rules. Don't give them a reason to throw out your case. Don't give them a reason to just let you free. However, whatever happened to this idea of consequences? Yeah. And sitting in the consequence of your horrific idea that you think, I'm just going to charge this group of people so I can run in and shoot, at will, perhaps take out the president. I don't have a whole lot of sympathy for that at all. I feel like it's not a judge's place to apologize to anyone on trial for anything. Tell me you're a liberal progressive without telling me you're a liberal or a progressive. It's what do you pretty think? Clear. I mean, what if it does come before the court? I don't know what the timeline is, but if it's in his court, which I'm guessing it stays there, Is he just going to let him walk? Is this like a...
That would be, talk about outrage. But it could be. I mean, judges these days, think about how they have been used to weaponize and go after Trump. In this case, this would be another way that they would exercise judicial activism.
Yep.
So
sounds
who
like
knows?
He's willing to as well.
Yeah. You guys, this is fantastic news. We are joined by a political newcomer, but not an entrepreneurial newcomer. Or if you watch football, you may know our next guest, not guess. It's not a guess. Nate Carlson is not a guest.
He's
a guest on the show. And we're so excited to have him. Glad that he had time in his schedule to join us. Welcome.
How are y'all?
Good morning.
Thank you.
Appreciate you being here. I know we met at an event recently, but for a lot of people that may not know you, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes. So Nate Carlson, not Nate Allen.
Thank you.
Thank you all for having me and giving me the opportunity. So high level background. I'm from Birmingham, grew up here, and actually graduated not too far from where I am now, but I graduated from Briarwood, and then parlayed that. I had a lot of want to and desire and a little bit of athletic ability, and had the ability to go and play football in college. So I started at the Air Force Academy, was there for 2 seasons. And then after that, I came back and finished up at Alabama my last 3 years under a coach that was getting things rolling at the time, Coach Saban. And we had a lot of success. And so there, I knew coming out, football was done for me. I didn't have the athletic ability to continue to push forward in that way. And so I wanted to go really help people, serve people, and build businesses. And so I went and worked in an entrepreneurial environment, got to grow and learn and do a lot of that. And then in 2016, my wife and I opened a restaurant in Birmingham called Real and Rosemary. I'm really proud. We just hit 10 years there. We've got a location in Homewood. We have another location in Crestline. And then we also, in 2018, opened Caveat Coffee, which is one off of kind of the main drag in Homewood on Linden Avenue. So we've got something for people throughout all day parts. But that's a little bit about my background, I guess.
Okay, hold on. Time out. I had a feeling you went to Briarwood. Did you know I went to Briarwood?
I did not know that. Did
y'all not know each other?
No, because he's way younger.
Tiny.
He's way younger. Bless.
I don't know that that's the case. I think Amy Beth was just way cooler and didn't want to hang out with me, probably is what it was.
That is not true.
We might have been separated by a couple of years, but she wasn't going to have any time for me. She was in the corner.
That is not true. But as soon as you were saying it, I was like, wait, I think we both went to Briarwood. So, okay, check. Cool. So, your Real and Rosemary, one of your locations is right next to my husband's office. So we frequent your location. But what motivated you to run for office, and why now?
Yeah, it's a thing for me. This has kind of been an iterative and like an evolution over time of continuing to see, I think, government that is probably well-intentioned and policies that come out, whether this is local, state, federally. And when I think you have folks that are enacting those laws or enacting bills or trying to see things through, and they don't understand maybe as the operator how that ultimately comes all the way downstream and affects the business on Main Street or the family, right? You can get things out of kilter very quickly. And so for me, we've seen that in our own businesses over the years where, things like, I would say things that were meant and overall trying to help people broadly, very much change the competitive landscape, which changed the growth trajectory for our business, And so those types of things have been for me where it's like, okay, well, I recognize that probably I frame the world differently than other folks in the room. I see that, I kind of have this instinct from a business perspective. I've got, maybe I've taken enough arrows in my back at this point and learned some hard lessons to know what not to do, but also how to bring those experiences to the table in a productive way. And I also think just right now in this moment, I think there's a desire and a need to kind of have that next generation of conservative Republican leadership stepping up to the table and entering into the conversation. And so I wanted to do that, and be a part of it and be hopefully somebody that's value additive overall to not only the party, but ultimately a state and a district within District 16 that I care a lot about. Our kids are in school here. We're going through what would I say? It's the messy middle, I think is what my wife Jennifer would say. And y'all can probably appreciate, we're in May-cember right now. So you're the sprint of into school and all the things. And and so, truly it wasn't like we just woke up and, hey, let's go insert this because we need another thing, another, ball to juggle. It was really like we felt called to do this and the Lord was leading us into it independent of the outcome. We just felt like this was the right step to take, And so I've been really, it's humbling to have people tell you they're going to vote for you when you go and talk to them and knock on the door. It's been humbling for years to see people come into our restaurants and honestly, there were a lot of days in COVID where I remember Jennifer and I'd be looking going, ooh, I don't know if this is going to go, and people continue to show up. And so ultimately, I hope this is another way for me to serve people, truly. That's at the end of the day, that's what everybody's doing it for, I hope. And it's to make and improve lives and do it in a way that adds value to the state and people in general.
So you're running for State Senate District 16. Describe to us who is in that district. I used to be there, which is really weird. I would have been in your district. And we're North Shelby County, so it goes way far down, kind of Caldwell Mill 119 area. But tell us kind of who is in your district, and then what are maybe the top 3 things that you want to bring to and do for your district?
Yeah. All right. So the district geographically, if you can kind of picture it for people, it is Homewood on the north end, and then basically runs south kind of down Highway 31, if you can imagine that. But obviously it's broader on both sides, down through Vestavia and into Hoover and northern Shelby County. So the southern end is really Highway 119 now. Some of that's kind of gotten moved around the last couple of years. And then you go all the way over basically to 280 for the most part, and it kind of runs back up towards Brookwood Mall. So it is geographically, it's smaller than a lot of the other Senate districts, but man, when you're out walking neighborhoods, let me tell you, these houses are like rabbits. They just come out of the ground. I swear. I have now, I will tell you, we were doing this and about 30 days in, I went and I said, hey, Jennifer, I'm going to get a scooter. So I now have a scooter and, awesome. And I'm out here riding around, man. I'm trying to go in between houses and I'm hitting it. So, but
is it electric or do you have to do your foot?
Well, it's electric, but I'm probably at the upper limits of the weight. So we're getting up hills is a little bit of a challenge for the cart and I, but but when you think about 16, okay, so that's geographically where it is. Obviously, the district itself sitting where it is, that's heavily suburban Birmingham, right? It's the economic engine of the state in so many ways. And so that's a part of why I think it's really important to have somebody that is business minded and understands and brings that perspective to the table, especially in this district, because we need, to me, a strong Birmingham. We need a strong, that's the MSA more broadly, but we need a strong economic Birmingham in order to have a great state. And I think so for me, I want to bring that perspective. I think also we have this, y'all have kind of hit on this some in what you've been doing, when y'all went and walked through the State House, right? And very much y'all were alluding to the fact that people don't know, they can walk in there. It is truly our building, but oftentimes that's not the perception. And so I think for me, how are you a steward of the resources that we have at the state level, right? And what are we doing? How are we aligning those resources? If it's locally, you're thinking about what are the jobs that may be happening. A lot of times, I think about as you drive down through the district, there's things that are happening, well, people unfortunately may blame a municipality, and it may not always be their fault, but that's the easiest thing to blame because they loop in ALDOT, they touch, all these different groups that are operating on a much broader set. Well, I think that's really important as a state legislator and as a representative to be able to work on behalf of the community, whether you bring things and speed them up or you just are it's not this black box of information, right? And so like that to me is something that I think we can continue to improve on. And I frame a lot of things. I think I've heard somebody say before, like pessimism and optimism cost the same, right? And so for me, I think a lot of the things that people would frame is like, man, we got a ton of problems. Sure. I also look at that and I would frame it in my mind and say, we have a lot of opportunities ahead of us, And so economically, I think we are seeing our economy that's changing. We're seeing that there is, opportunities for us to continue to lean in on education. We've had some wins there, but I think we can continue to like really press that and like make those improvements in the middle school and high school ages. We've seen some great gains, elementary school and those learners. And so, for me, like, and ultimately, like, I think we need to be a good steward of the taxpayer dollars and the resources, right? And so it's not just like a open-ended, hey, we're just, we're getting money and like, let's figure out the fastest way to spend it. It's like, well, no, what do we need and how do we be a steward of it? And then ultimately, how do we add the most value back to our customer, which in this sense is the taxpayer.
So what are you hearing? Just a few minutes left. What are you hearing from the doors you're knocking on? What are other issues? Because I think, education is something we can all agree on. We always want to lean into and improve. And, economically, we want to improve there as well. What else are you hearing from your, perhaps your constituents?
I will tell you, like the PSC, that is one that's top of mind for a lot of people. And there's been a lot of framing and changing. I think the other one is lottery and gambling. I think with the amount of, mailers and information that's come into not just District 16, but like all across the state, right? There's been a lot of dollars that are being spent in that direction. I think definitely the customer being the voter is very smart and perceptive. And they're going, okay, well, what's coming down the pipe? And so, that is something for me that I think, like, I'm not going to support a gambling bill or clean lottery bill, whatever that is. Like, that's just not something I think we need. I think it opens a Pandora's box. And so, that's been one that I didn't necessarily anticipate going and getting into it, but it has certainly been top of mind. And then, the PSC thing, I think, honestly, that's disenfranchised a lot of people. I think they're really frustrated with some of the decisions that were made late in the legislative cycle because of you've got just the optics of an outgoing governor appointing people. Yes, it's going to become elected ultimately. But like the thing is, I think we all have to understand people in Alabama are uniquely independent, I would say. I recognize that about myself. And I think people want to know that their voice matters. They have a say in it. And so, that's one of the things for me that like, I've been really encouraged because I went into this thinking, well, like fundamentally, I think competition is a good thing, whether it's in business, whether it's in, our election process and our primaries. And it's been encouraging to have voters kind of like, yeah, we're glad to have somebody in. And, because I think like we used to do this at Alabama, it was called good on good, right? I mean, I think one of the reasons we really played well on Saturdays is because we practiced 1v1 every other day of the week. And when you're, iron sharpens iron. And so I think competition is inherently good. And going through this process, I think voters are encouraged that there's other people engaged and involved, and that creates options, right? So,
yeah.
I don't know if I answered that question fully. Did I?
No, you did. Yeah. And I think most Alabamians do feel like I can't remember if you said bamboozled. I don't know why that keeps going through my head.
It's a good word.
It's very descriptive. Everybody gets it with the PSC bill and what Montgomery did there. There's lots of frustration with that. And I think there will continue to be some fallout from that for sure. Real quickly, we've got to go to a break. We appreciate you joining us, but how can people find you if they want to learn more about your campaign or donate or get in touch with you?
Thank you. CarlsonForAlabama.com. And that is all of our socials are Carlson for AL, Carlson for Alabama, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I'm not really as active on TikTok doing the dances and stuff. That might be phase 2, but seriously, go to our website. It's got more information about myself, my family, where we are, how to support us. And I would just say to each of you, thank you. Y'all are really, I know the media landscape is changing so much right now. And I think y'all are really tip of the spear in what you're doing and how you're doing it. I think you're well positioned. I think I told Amy Beth, I may have said that to you. I don't know if I said that to you, Allison, the first time we met, but I'm excited for both of you because I think there's a huge opportunity and you're seeing the market respond to it, right? As y'all continue to build. So
you're very kind.
No, I'm excited for both of y'all. I really am. So,
well, I'm glad you like us because we have a business proposition for you coming up.
We do.
We might want to do something at your coffee shop.
Would love it.
So
Absolutely.
we will reach out about that. It'll actually be pretty cool.
Yeah.
If you still want to associate with us.
Yeah, it's okay if you don't.
No, I'm all over it, man. I'm throwing allegedly into different things now. So it's y'all got me hook, line, and sinker, I guess, whether you want me or not. So
that's so funny. That is awesome. Well, we're doing allegedly today, so you'll have to do that later. Thank you so much for being with us. Seriously, I appreciate you running. I know it's not easy. It's taxing on a family, especially during May-cember. And so hang in there. It's almost over one way or the other. And we really appreciate you putting in the time and effort to bring these issues to Alabamians.
Well, I really appreciate it. Thank y'all so much. And
thank you.
I'll see y'all soon.
Okay. Have a great day. That was my warning to him. Like, hey,
we're going to call you.
Penny University.
Yeah, that's what we want to do, by the way, Nate and Jennifer. We'd love to. We're going to reach out to you. We have an idea. It'd be awesome.
It involves coffee and tea and pinkies up and British accents.
And deep convo.
It'll be fabulous. Okay, y'all, we'll be back maybe with allegedly and the rest of the montage on the other side. I know y'all plan ahead. It catches me off guard every time. Like if we're not planning 2 years ahead, y'all have beat us in our, kind of what we want to lobby for in Montgomery. What do you see coming next quadrennium as well?
Yeah, I think you're right. First of all, the first part of your question, I think, it's almost because of the social media and the world we live in today, it's changed. It's almost about what we've done today instead of what we've done over the past quadrennium. And Scott's right. I mean, if you Google the most conservative legislative body in the country, it's going to come up Alabama's number one. And it's because of the bills that you mentioned, a lot of them. I mean, the tax cuts has been $1.5 billion in the last 4 years alone. We've had a tax cut in every session. We got one this session on overtime. So, I mean, it's been a good 4 years. Our body has worked extremely hard. We got good men and women that serve. And Scott was talking about the reason he run for the chairman. I mean, the reason I got in leadership was because we were going through the turmoil when I first got elected, as you remember, with the Hubbard and all that went on with him and the governor and even the Supreme Court justice. That was all at one time within a few months of each other. So the reason I ran at the time is because some of the best people I had ever met, I served with in the House of Representatives. And I thought, if we can give them a platform where we can show the kind of people they are and let people know we serve with good people, and we really do. I mean, Scott and I are both the same way. I mean, there's not a place that I go in this state that I can't pick up the phone and say, listen, my car is broke down. Can you come and help me? And I promise you, within just a period of time, you'd have help from somebody. So that was my intent in getting in and running for leadership to begin with. So I think those people are still serving. Some of the faces change as we go forward. But, our state has been blessed. I mean, we have had the most successful run in economic development in the state's history. We're in the top 5 in shipbuilding, automobiles, airplanes, and now being a Lawston and with the submarine. I mean, we've never seen that before. Research, we're in the top 5. Agriculture, we're actually number 2. I mean, our state is moving at a pace that we have never seen before. And I think sometimes we always wonder what we can do next. But I think we also got to look back and celebrate what we have done too.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk, because it's happening very soon. The closed primary bill came through Matt Simpson's committee. What is the bill exactly, and what are the plans for it?
Yeah, I don't mind talking on this one at all. I think I'll let you talk about the plans for it, and I'll just kind of discuss. So I watched it because we had a public hearing last week. Ernie Arborough is a sponsor, and I think it's time. It's time for us to pick our party lines and pick your teams and support your teams and vet the people that are going to be a part of your team, right? So right now, if you're a Democrat, you can literally you can participate in our primaries if you want to, right? Basically, if this bill becomes law, when you go and when they ask you after your driver's license, your valid driver's license at the polls, they're going to ask you Republican or Democrat. And whatever you request is you just registered, right? So then we already got a law now that if you do pick a Republican ballot and there's a runoff, you can't flip-flop, right? So if you're a Democrat, you can't vote in our runoffs. That's already law. So we might as well just do it with the primaries as well. But let's say you want to change your mind. 60 days before the next primary, all you do is fill out paperwork and you can change your decision. Now, 60 days was the big question mark. And I found out it's because that's when the absentees were sent out. So that was the only reason why, because 30 days, some thought that had been more appropriate. Wasn't feasible just because of the absentee ballots. But I think at the end of the day, we've got different parties. I mean, you picked your sides. You're on the team. I don't see the big deal personally. I think it gives more structure to our party, to each party, to the Democrats and Republicans. Mm-hmm. They don't want us middling in theirs, and we don't want them middling in ours, right? So I just think it's a solid move moving forward for our election integrities.
Do you see it passing the House? And what are the chances in the Senate?
I think we get it through the House. I think there will be conversation. And we've talked about that some. I mean, we've always tried to be, as Speaker with the gal, we always try to be amenable to both sides, in a debate. And I know that we'll probably have a lot of debate on the bill. After a period of time, we'll move forward. If we have to cloture, we will. I do think we'll be able to get it out of the House. I'll be surprised if we don't. Of course, we'll go into caucus meeting tomorrow. We'll have a better idea where everybody stands and what they're thinking. And that's when they get a chance to hear whatever they have to say, good, bad, or ugly. And so we'll get to see that tomorrow and have a good idea. But I feel good about it. I think we can get it out of the House. And one thing for sure, we'll know Thursday.
Mm-hmm. Let's look ahead to a Governor Tuberville administration. Those are big changes that are on the horizon. Talk to us about what you guys hope will happen. What kind of changes, what kind of legislation? I know we want to keep on this path, but what else?
Yeah, I mean, I of course, knowing.
Well, we're already 27 minutes from the end of a Tuesday. It is Taco Tuesday. I hope everybody is celebrating accordingly tonight for dinner or lunch, whatever the case may be. I am Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair and JP. We are the Rightside. We hope that you enjoyed our interview with both Attorney General Steve Marshall and Nate Carlson. I'm not going to say the last name that I did say by accident, Nate Carlson.
I thought you knew his middle name. I thought you were like a mom with their child.
I didn't. I'm
calling
sorry.
him by his full name.
Nate and Jennifer, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. It's Nate Carlson. Hope you enjoyed that interview. But now we're going to quickly roll through the rest of the montage stories. And then it's Tuesday. We spill the tea on and do allegedly.
Was that on purpose? Did y'all do tea because we were going to spill the tea?
Maybe we will from now on. Maybe it's an accidentally on purpose.
Well, y'all can drink the tea. I hate tea.
What did tea ever do to you?
I don't even like sweet tea.
I don't either.
I hate sweet tea.
Why do you not like? You haven't had my mother-in-law's sweet tea.
That's why.
Why?
It gets stuck to the roof of your mouth.
Okay, you haven't had Charlotte's tea. I'm sorry. You'd like it if you had hers.
No, I just have Milo's out of the jug.
No.
And
No.
Yeah,
Lolly needs to make your tea.
It may have been my
Lolly
brother
tea.
forcing me to drink it as a kid. My brother literally, when
Why?
he was in high school, he would walk out of his room every morning and like wake up, open the fridge door, grab the Milos, open it, and just start drinking it out of the jug.
Liver.
And
gross.
he always made like he kept making me try it every now and then. I always hated it. It's not good. And I've always been accused of not being Southern because of that.
Can you drink tea with like Splenda in it?
I mean,
or you just don't even like tea?
I kind of gave up on tea itself because I figured if I didn't like sweet tea, I wouldn't like tea.
I think you could drink tea. You know, it's just brown water.
When I was a kid, I said it tastes.
It's not the brown water most people like.
It tastes like the smell of hay, is what I would say growing up.
Gosh, now it's stuck in my head.
Sorry.
Don't stop drinking your
drinking
tea
hay.
just because we don't normally drink tea. Like I am a coffee fanatic. Medium, no weird fruity stuff in my coffee, but today tea felt right. And it just so happens we will be spilling the tea at 11:40-ish. All right. So we have two things. Number one, Nancy Mace, binders, slush fund, names. I was just kind of in that order.
Yeah.
And number two, money laundering by USAID. What a surprise.
They actually all kind of go together.
Said no one ever. So, number one, Nancy Mace. Names, please. Thoughts after that.
We'll do the names. It's a little bit anticlimactic so far, at least.
John Conyers is a tiny tad surprising.
So, for those who missed it, she had a subpoena for getting the names of the congressmen that used this slush fund to pay off sexual assault victims, allegedly. And she's starting to release the names. There's 9 names on here. Rodney Alexander used $15,000 in 2007. The office of Carolyn McCarthy. 2 cases resulting in 1 settlement of $8,000 in 2009.
Okay, pause.
Yeah.
The office of Carolyn McCarthy, that means it wasn't her.
Right.
It was a staffer. Okay.
And then Eric Massa 3 times, $85,000 in 2010, $20,000 in 2010, $10,000 in 2010. John Conyers, $50,000 in 2010. Blake, do y'all know any of these names? I don't really.
I know John Conyers.
Blake Farenthold, $84,000 in 2014. John Conyers again, severance pay, $27,000, over $27,000 in 2014. And then 2017, Patrick Meehan. 2 cases resulting in 1 settlement, severance pay of $39,250. So those are the 9 names and the 1,000 pages that she's been subpoenaed or had subpoenaed to receive. So,
and that's all. Like there are no more names than that.
And this binder of 1,000, I don't know what part of it she asked for, but those are the 9 names and what she has.
Okay,
got to be more.
I mean, I only know John Conyers. What? Oh, prior to 2004 were destroyed. Great. Okay.
And then the slush fund ended in 2018, right?
Yes.
And why did they say the slush fund ended?
Because it's not cool for taxpayers to be paying for your indiscretions.
Which made me wonder, what kind of private fund do they have that they're paying out of that we'll never find out about?
Well, that's fine. Have it come out of their own pocket. Why should I pay because you can't keep it together?
Oh, I don't disagree with that. But what I wish that I knew is how many of them are, because they know we're not going to find out their names, also harassing staffers and people up there.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? Many. I just
more than one. I do kind of feel sorry for, it's like, what was the one? Oh, Eric Swalwell recently. Okay. That whole thing was so unfortunate. Man, just don't do it. I don't know. It's like Bill Clinton. They think they can get away with everything. You're like, you're in the freaking Oval Office. Like somebody's going to find out. But they're just the ones that got caught. Everybody else is doing it. They just haven't been caught yet.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't been needed for a pet project or a political move or a scapegoat. It's probably the majority of them.
Yeah. I agree. More people than we know are engaged in these kind of shenanigans that are in elected office. It is a cesspool.
I think too, you lose perspective. Like when I did my internship with the Tennessee legislature in Nashville, it was just one semester of school. I took off and went and worked for 2 state reps. And I learned a lot, but it's funny. You get in that environment and things that you go in like going, I will never, they're so commonplace. Like whether it's just the way, I don't know, the way you approach like handling a bill or how you want to work a bill or work people, you start doing things and things start becoming so normalized that I feel like there's a really easy way you could wake up like 6 months down the road and go, who am I?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're so insulated in that world. And I remember walking away going, it's funny. I was like, I'm never going into politics after that. I thought I wanted to. Well, whatever. Here I am. But you just lose perspective because literally everybody else around you is doing it. And if you don't have people grounding you and calling you back to reality, it's real easy to get caught up in that. Now, there should be a line of like, we don't sexually assault people. I'm not talking about that's normalized, but yeah, kind of is.
Mm-hmm. Agree.
You probably saw it on the campaign trail.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
I'll just say I'm shocked. The more and more I get closer to the sun, so to speak, with politics, I'm grossed by it overall. But I am shocked by how commonplace those things are. Like I knew it happened, but I didn't know it was that common. And I know it's all alleged, but I just feel like almost every person that I see, like that's kind of
it is normal. I remember the first time I went down. This was in my 20s, and I was going to perhaps have something to do with the press secretary's office right after I graduated from college and after my first, Miss Alabama stint. And I was shocked when I saw certain people come off the elevator and people were like, oh yeah, that's, she's so-and-so, or they didn't try to hide the girls back in the day. They were just out there. And they didn't hide the boxes of money that they would go put cash. They just didn't hide it. And I remember at the time being like, what? And yet that kind of corruption, because there's so much more than that, is so common. You're right. You're just like, all right, this is the field of play. We have to work within it, which is why it's important for decent human beings to go down to Montgomery and yeah, that's all I'll say.
But
in DC,
you remember the list that came out of corruption in states, and Alabama was like number 4 top in the nation for legal corruption. And that's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. Not like the out blatant illegal activity, like you're going to go to prison, but the stuff that's not illegal, but unsavory, but happens all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the boxes of cash. Which actually that probably is kind of illegal, but it's just icky. It's gross.
It is. And there's so many ways of working it. And so when it actually pivots beautifully to the next story is that we found out that there's money laundering.
We're going to have to do this one real quick, by the way, if we want to get to allegedly.
Money laundering, Zelensky's government, USAID, funnel taxpayer dollars through a series of transactions into Biden's campaign, the DNC, and Tulsi Gabbard declassified. This information's out there. It's out there. And yet every time we see public corruption, we hear of affairs, but it's way more than that. It's the corruption. It's the money laundering. It's the dishonesty. And we're told that's insane. That doesn't happen. And yet here it is. It did happen. And they do have record of it. And we were made to feel like fools because we suspected it. And here it is out in the open. Like, come on, guys.
Come on.
I'm interested to see what all comes from the declassifications.
Yeah, I mean, exactly, because what happens? I mean, it's the same thing with Fauci, only a few days left, and his massive scheme and corruption against the American people since the 80s. What's going to happen to him? What's going to happen to these people? Whatever happens to anybody?
I don't know, but I have been cautiously optimistic since Todd Blanche took over as acting attorney general. He's done quite a bit. I don't know what was wrong with Pam Blondie. I don't know. I don't know what her deal was. I had high hopes for her as well, but some things are happening and it's good. We're moving in the right direction. So maybe this actually, but it's again, score one for the conspiracy theorists. Again, it's like 1,000,000 to 0 at this point.
Yeah.
And people that will argue with you and say, I mean, even part of our delegation up in DC, we need to continue funding Ukraine. We can't let Russia. What? Either you're willfully ignorant or you're part of it. I don't know. I guess maybe one is better. Or I don't know how you go to DC and still stay naive.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
So we'll see. But we're complicit in a lot of it.
Yeah, we are. But I'm happy to hear of your optimism. We needed a little ray of sunshine today.
I do think DC has woken up to it a little bit.
Hey, that's the beauty of social media and shows like this. We're willing to talk about it because before it was hidden and now it's out in the public eye.
Yeah.
So hopefully the right people will go, no, actually we're going to hold this group of people accountable. So you're right. High hopes, everybody. High hopes.
There's a song.
There is a song about that. But now it's time for.
Whoa, real quick.
Yes.
Before we get to allegedly, we got a couple of texts that we should probably read before the show ends.
Okay.
John from Minor sent in a couple. He was talking about the apology the judge gave to Cole Allen, said that's the same apology Obama and Hillary made to the people that overran that embassy today, killed Americans. He also says, I feel you, JP. Sweet tea is for girls or people that want bad teeth. That's true.
I really would like some bad teeth. Let me go drink some tea.
He also said, referring to earlier when we were talking about our dogs, he had to he sent in a picture of him with his dog Sunshine for the conversation.
Is that an Australian Shepherd?
I don't know.
What kind of dog is
shepherdy?
that?
Bo, you have a friend. Oh, Bo looked up. Did you say Sunshine?
Sunshine.
Cutie. Cute.
All right, real quick. We want to get to allegedly.
Yes.
I don't know.
Allegedly.
Do you not know your story?
There's just too many.
Oh, I got a story.
Oh, you got a story,
okay.
Clutus. Virgil, Clutus.
Virgil.
What you got?
Ophelia.
Ophelia
and
Jovi Ray Quimby.
Now we are not going to get into the details, the tiny details of the store, because this is a family program. But have y'all seen the story with this JP Morgan situation?
No,
sir.
Y'all haven't?
No, sir.
What is happening?
Oh me, oh my.
I don't. You like the scandal, don't you, Virgil?
I do. That's what I live for. I mean, we're spilling the tea. It's got to be good.
And tea will be spilled.
Now, I'm sure some people watching have heard of the story, but allegedly, pretty much, JP Morgan, a former JP Morgan employee, accused his boss, a female, of forcing him to partake in actions, I'll just put it there, that he did not want to do over and over, and was threatened to be fired, to be ruined, pretty much if he turned down her advances, so to say. And apparently this went on for a long time, and he filed a lawsuit exposing all this recently. But apparently, allegedly, this is all baloney. Listen, apparently around November 2024, the plaintiff's father passed away, and he went to his parents' home in Virginia. The company thought he was working through something, a source told the outlet. But the Post has contacted this guy's father that's supposed to be dead, and he is in fact alive.
Oh, dear.
Alive and well. His father says he doesn't know anything about the allegations his son previously made, But he says, I don't know anything about it. He didn't talk with us or anything. He's my son and he's a good guy, he says. But apparently this whole scandal from the beginning, allegedly, from the plaintiff, it may be baloney from the get-go. So he put out all these allegations of his boss making him do things he didn't want to do and threatened to be fired. And now she's coming back saying, hold on a second. You lied. Your father is not dead. And all this is baloney. I'm actually shocked y'all haven't seen this store.
No.
Have y'all not been on the Twix lately?
I haven't
been
seen the
viral.
store. I haven't seen it. I'm so glad you told us about it.
Clutus.
Yes, ma'am.
We've all been trying to save America and save the Alabamas with all 7-0 district map. We don't have time for these shenanigans of I'm dead, now I'm alive, soap opera-ish.
Well, that is the whole point of allegedly, is it not?
I'm dead. I'm alive. I'm dead. I'm alive.
Yeah, buried and raised from the dead.
So
J.P. Morgan.
I'll say this.
Close your eyes the way you say it. It means you're more serious.
If he made these fake allegations publicly, and this is what I think a good rule should be for any accusers out there that are trying to smear and lie, then you should get arrested, first of all, and then you should get the sentence of what you accuse the other person of doing. Like whatever the maximum sentence is for what you falsely accuse, that's what you should get. And if this guy put out this massive detailed expose and he lied, I think he should be thrown under the jail. And I would say the same if the roles were reversed. If it was a female employee, saying the same, but it should be across the board. However, it is quite funny that allegedly he came back and made it all up.
All up.
What do you know about that?
Well, what tea are you gonna spill?
Well, you know,
oh shoot,
Clutus.
I see it. Here we go.
Virgil, and this is a story that I'll just be right quick with it because hold on, I always have to channel my mama's dearly departed friend Martha. But it was a story that's going to be in the montage, and I thought I'd just share it because I keep seeing the commercials everywhere, one after the other on the certain channels. But apparently, this is a story our friend Grayson wrote, and it's about former Supreme Court Justice Jay Mitchell. And he is demanding a retraction from rival in the 2026 Alabama Attorney General's race, Catherine Robertson, over a video advertisement produced by the campaign that's hitting airwaves across the state. I don't know if y'all saw that or not, but Mitchell did so through a formal demand letter. I've never received one of those before, but for retraction under Alabama's libel statute. So I just wanted y'all to know, in case y'all wondering, things between Mitchell and Robertson have gotten ugly, real ugly.
I did see that.
Did you see that? And so I didn't know if y'all had seen this, but in the letter, Mitchell accused her campaign of running I'm gonna pronounce this right.
Oh God.
Even though I'm Southern, defamatory advertisement about his decades-old pro bono. It meant he did it for free legal work and continuing to air it even after his documentation was made public.
Is this about him being a foreign agent?
Yes, and Mitchell says that it's demonstrably false.
That's a big word.
False. I know. I went to word school. Anyway, he says it's false that he once served as a registered foreign agent. Forget this, a country called Uzbekistan, and that he's a lobbyist for a Muslim country and they represented a Muslim regime. None of these statements are true. And so he's saying he's fighting against it. But Catherine's campaign said these are, he says they're lies, but she said, we stand by the ad. That's Dalton Dismukes, general consultant for the Roberts campaign said in a statement to Yellowhammer News. Again, I tell you, my friends, this race is ugly. It's real ugly.
Is what you get when you get lawyers running to be the chief.
And their
Attorney
word,
General.
that's right. And they're wordsmiths and they know what to do. And they're fighting it out. Both have good campaign ads. One runs right after the other. But I just wanted to let you know that at the end of the article, even though Catherine Robertson's campaign says we stand by what we said, Mitchell said he has not yet indicated whether he will pursue legal action if she declines what he's asked, which is to cease and desist all this stuff, retract it. And they say, no, we will not. Stay tuned, my friend. Stay tuned.
Bo's having a dream over
It
there.
really is.
He's
He's
fighting it out.
He's chasing somebody. Here's the thing about Catherine is that she knows the law. Yes. I don't know why she would do that if she thought she was breaking the law. I don't understand.
I don't either. I'm befuddled by it all.
And so I don't know. This is kind of reminds me of middle school. Like he said, she said, they said. And then there's Pamela Casey, who's just like, I'll come right up the middle.
Yeah.
You two keep going.
Exactly. But this race, stay tuned to this one because it's ugly.
If he's a foreign agent for a Muslim country, how can he say Allah Akbar your butt back to the Middle East and mean it?
Oh, maybe it was a bit of projection. Who knows?
Like
I'm not saying I have no dog in this fight. I was throwing out a possibility.
It's okay. We've all seen the ads.
I will say,
a good ad campaign for all of them.
The lawyers like to sue, so maybe
they do like to sue.
Yeah.
So
well, I just have to start off by pointing out. You see this line right here?
Yeah.
It keeps looking at me in the monitor.
Yeah.
And I got that last night when I was really struggling with all this redistricting stuff, and I spent all night on the phone and all morning on the phone, and I'm just like. But what do you mean? And look at this.
It stressed you out, hasn't it,
won't go away.
Ophelia?
I'm going to have to do something about that with my cold cream tonight.
Cold cream is great, baby.
So anyway, hopefully it'll be gone tomorrow. But I have a feeling all day I'm going to be like this because this is just what I don't understand about this redistricting. Like, there's the high level constitution, unconstitution stuff, but then there's the human side of it. And I'm so perplexed. Hence the line in the middle of my forehead. I'm so perplexed because I don't understand. So Tommy Tuberville, the assumed governor of the state of Alabama, and Morgan Murphy put out this statement, the day before all this dropped. And it's almost like they knew something. And they talked about 7-0. Morgan Murphy signed it, your next congressional candidate for the District 7. And so we're all kind of like, yeah, this is, they know. They know, they're up in the DCs. They know the things. Then the governor the next day comes out and says, we're not doing it. I'm not going to do it. And it kind of made him look silly.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, okay. Well, now you look kind of egg on your face or however we say it. Like, bless your heart. Okay, so then Nathaniel Ledbetter puts out a statement, talks about 7-0. We think we're getting somewhere. Then the governor calls a special session. And now we're back to 6-1. And so I'm just wondering what is going on. Like, why is Montgomery seem to be siding with the current governor who's outgoing? Have they turned their backs on Tommy Tuberville? And what is the White House going to think about this? I would think Donald Trump doesn't want that egg sandwich on his face either because he has fought hard for this. So is the legislature just going to give the White House the middle finger too? I just think we're really stirring up some things, and I don't know what to believe anymore because I thought everybody was kind of friends. So we'll just have to watch. I don't know how this happens or what's going on, but that's why we send people to Montgomery, and it's why your vote matters, people. You got to have people there that know what they're doing and that serve you well. And I just don't know who we're serving right now. It's really confusing. Are we serving Kay Ivey? Are we serving Tommy Tuberville? Are we serving ourselves? Are we serving the White House? I don't know. And I think everybody needs to pay attention and get ready for your line in your forehead to stay there because I think it's going to stay explosive the rest of the week. I think we got some twists and turns, and it's going to be exciting.
Now, Ophelia.
Yes?
Don't get too far ahead of yourself. Remember what we heard, allegedly, maybe the strategy pass 6-1 in one chamber, 7-0 in the other, come back in the middle through reconciliation and get a 7-0 eventually. That may be the strategy. So I wouldn't throw in. I wouldn't.
Don't give up.
I wouldn't say give up yet.
Don't give up.
Now that's all allegedly. I mean, they could be full of it, and then we end up giving the Democrats an extra seat to begin with. But I don't know. I would say just don't give up yet.
I like it, Clutis. I'm gonna go with that because maybe the geniuses down there and they are just pulling a fast one.
Actually, guys, we decided we're being too mean to the Democrats. We're gonna make it a 4-3 state. Actually, after some
you know what? Leave it to them, and you don't ever know. You don't know, Virgil.
Well,
what
I'm
they
sure
capable
tomorrow
of.
will be an exciting day. And y'all, until then, please make good choices because life's too short to make bad ones. And you stay on the right side. See y'all.